Okay, I've been saying subconscious block a lot here. What is a subconscious block? Well, it's a rule or a belief or a fear that you have internalized sometime in your past. And often you're not consciously aware of what it is, but it's in charge of what you do or don't do. And if you're into law of attraction, it's in charge of what you will manifest. So your conscious money desires and your plans simply cannot overcome a competing subconscious block. You have to actually go into your subconscious and change it. Okay. I have found that simply working on things like positive affirmations will not work until you find and release the specific blocks in your subconscious. I used to simply hate affirmations. They never worked for me. And I know that I'm not alone. I mean, there was a study done on affirmations that found that most people stopped using them within about 2 weeks. And that was because, well, here's my gloss on it. It was because that they felt bad doing them. Because honestly, when you make an affirmation and you've got a little negative voice that pipes up right away saying, no, that's not true. No, you can't. It's not allowed, or whatever it says. You're actually affirming that negative voice. So people would stop within 2 weeks. And that made sense to me because that's what I was doing. I hated affirmations. But now that I have cleared away enough of my money blocks, those money affirmations will actually work for me. Before I cleared them, though, it was as if my subconscious was full. It was all tapped out. And there was no room for these positive new messages that I was trying to reprogram it with. And that still happens sometimes. And then, it's like I try an affirmation, it doesn't work. I can't stick with it. Then I have to go looking for what's in the way. Release that so that I can reprogram my subconscious with the positive stuff. So if you feel like affirmations or other positive money mindset tools don't work for you, look at what you need to clear in your subconscious first. So where do these subconscious blocks come from? Probably not from a galaxy far away, but probably from your life. They can come from anywhere in your life, but there's some really common sources that I want to look at with you here. One is family. What did your parents say about money? This is probably the most common one, actually. So think about what each of your parents said about money while you were growing up. If money doesn't grow on trees. There's a common one. We may not have a lot of money, but we have love. Okay, grow up with that one, and you're going to start thinking, oh, well, if I have money, then I can't have love. Maybe there was a constant refrain of, we can't afford it. And so now you're recreating that in your life now, so you can't afford the things you want. It doesn't have to be what they said, however. It can be simply how your family treated money. So was there a lot of sighing when it was time to pay the bills? Maybe your parents got into big fights over money. That can cause a block around the idea that money isn't safe. Because to the little kid who's hearing the parents fight, the 6-year-old hears fighting around money. Oh, money's not safe. Money causes people to fight. I'm never going to have any of that money stuff because I don't want to have fights like that. And that goes in your subconscious. And your brain is making sense of things at the age that you notice it. So that puts that kind of message, that kind of learning into your subconscious that's stuck at a 6-year-old level or wherever you are when you make the decision. I've also seen a lot of clients who had one of their parents spend the money as soon as they got it. I mean, they just never got ahead. They never kept it, and it was gone the moment it came in. And so that can show up in a number of different blocks. Money's not safe. If mom thinks it's not safe, it must not be safe. Or I can't have money because then I'd be disloyal to mom. Let's say mom is the one spending. It could sometimes be dad. Oh, well, I can't have money because dad will be mad because he didn't have it. Something like that. But it's the thinking of the child that you were when you internalized the block. Okay. Religion is another source of some of these money blocks. If you think about it, a lot of people pick up the message that money isn't spiritual. I, having grown up in a Christian church background, heard often, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. That was a popular one back in the day. Came out of the Bible somewhere, I guess. And that's we've heard things like that if we had any sort of religious contact when we were growing up, and then that sticks because honestly, a little kid says, "Well, money is great, but I want to go to the kingdom of heaven, so I'm just not going to have any. I'm not going to even possibly get rich somehow without paying attention. I'm just not going to have any money, and I'll be fine." Okay. Now it's interesting because most religious texts have both the negative and positive money in abundance statements. So you've got your eye of the needle one, but you also have ask and it is given. And with God, everything's possible. I mean, there's any religion will have more than one side to that. It'll show up if you study it. But it doesn't matter if you study it, study the positive statements as an adult. Because if you internalize the negative message as a child, that's the one that's running the show. You have to release it first before the positives can come in. Also, by the way, if you look into it and you realize, if you've done some studying on this and you realize that camel and eye of the needle thing, that actually at the time it was put down, the eye of the needle was the name of a gate into, I think it was Jerusalem. So yeah, it might be hard to get that camel through that gate, but it's not impossible like it would be to get it through an eye of an actual needle, right? You can know that logically and rationally, but until you clear away the subconscious, your conscious, logical, rational mind is not going to win in a fight with your subconscious. Yeah, no, not going to be rich because then I can't get into the kingdom of heaven. Okay. And then there's culture blocks, so money blocks. I had clients who grew up in Eastern Bloc countries back when they were following that form of communism that was around then. I had them. One of them told me that there were actual signs painted on walls, messages about like prophets are evil, don't have more than your neighbor, things like that. Don't be a capitalist pig dog. That's my gloss on it. That's probably not what was painted on the walls, but that's what I hear when they talk about those kind of messages. And I have to say, it's not that it's just people who grew up in Eastern Bloc countries or communist countries who have those internalized rules. I've seen this come from people who grew up in parts of the U.S. or other Western countries with similar kind of, okay, we don't want to have more than our neighbors. It's not fair. It's not right. In Portland, I'm looking at you. Okay. So these clients would have these internalized blocks from when they're a child, but then they grow up. Maybe they come to the West and they start a business and they want to make money because they know that they need to survive, but they can do so many good things, not just for themselves and their family, but for everyone if they have more money. So logically, rationally, they should make more money. But those rules from their culture growing up, those are still at play until we get rid of them. By the way, your culture also includes your friend circle. So if you have a bunch of friends and you like to get together and basically complain about rich people, how awful they are, or complain about there's just not enough money out there, can't get enough clients, whatever it is, you might want to upgrade your friend group. Now, I'm not saying that you have to get rid of friends. Please don't think that that's what I'm trying to tell you to do. I just want you to add some additional people in to the mix with more positive approaches to money. So maybe, they don't have to become your bestie friends, but maybe you listen to more of them on YouTube or something who talk about this. So again, but those blocks that are in your subconscious, those you're going to want to get rid of. One more source for these blocks could be from trauma. I've seen money blocks come out of a divorce. So even if it's the best thing you ever did, you are so grateful that you divorced the person, you still might walk away from that experience with some money blocks. Bankruptcy for sure. I've had a number of clients who believed they were not good with money. They couldn't handle money. So that goes into their subconscious. And then their subconscious says, okay, we'll make sure you don't have any money because that apparently is a painful thing for you. Business traumas happen, like a failed launch. I've done it, put something out there and it went, nobody wanted it. Or a recession. Having a business through a recession can be very challenging. And I've had clients who internalize a rule from going through that I have to work all the time just to keep my business or just to make enough money. So those are examples of traumas that can lead to these subconscious blocks. And so all of these are just examples of where money blocks can come from. They can come from other places as well, but these are some of the common ones.